Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho. Remember to also follow me on Facebook. Nitro Kyosho, all one word, brings you to the community page. Well, I just got done building the Goblin 380 guys back there. It's about my 5th or 6th Goblin that I've put together. And I wanted to share this little tip with you guys, more or less for new people building the Goblin. Rudder rod tip. How I do it, and it seems to be pretty successful. I haven't had a failure yet. So let me get up and show you the manual, and then I'll take that off of the pod, bring it over here and show you what I actually do. Alright. Okay, so in here it's explaining to you how to do it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you got these rods. You're going to put the threaded rods into the carbon fiber, and it gives you the measurements. Okay, it's saying it wants 13 millimeters hanging out each end. Now all the Goblins that I've built, guys, these manuals have been about dead on. So I'll show you the stuff that I use. Once you get that in, I'm going to explain to you after, when we get that off the pod, what I do. But first thing is 13 millimeters. Okay, once that is glued in, then you're going to put on your the ball links here, and you're going to leave 5 millimeters distance between them, between the carbon piece and the ball link. Okay, now in the book here it says to use CA glue. Alright, so let's take a quick look at that. And I'll get that off the pod and I'll show you how I do it. Bring that over here. Alright. And try not to shake, make you guys dizzy. Alright guys, so I don't use CA glue because I fly here in Connecticut. CA glue, super glue, this stuff here can become brittle and can crack. Okay, so what I use is JB Weld. Okay, it's a 2-part epoxy. Now the first thing I do is mix it up, equal portions, mix it up real good, make sure it's a good mix. Okay, and then I'll put the rod, I've got 2 aligned plastic boxes here, I'll set the rod up on there like that, up in the air. And then what I do is you can take a stick type Q-tip, anything basically that'll fit in that hole. These work really well, guys. And I stuff in with this some of the epoxy. Then I put the epoxy on the threaded rod, and then I push it in there. Now I've had guys tell me that they've put the rods in there and then they've walked away, and they come back the next day after it dried and the rod is further out than it should be. That's because when you push that in, guys, a little air pockets get inside there, okay? And that can actually push the metal rod out, and then you're kind of screwed. You got to buy a new one and start all over again. So basically what I do is I stuff some epoxy in there, and then what I'll do is I'll take some good hardcore duct tape. You'll put that underneath, okay, and you're going to stick that onto the carbon rod and onto the metal threaded rod. Once that is stuck together, that rod is not going to move, okay? And I got another piece of tape, and I would do that on equal sides. Okay, and that will guarantee that you won't come down the next day and start swearing because you found your threaded rod out 1/2 inch. Okay, so I do that, and then I let it dry overnight. It says 5 minutes, but why, you know, I don't need it, so let it dry overnight. After I let it dry overnight, then I will take some black thread, regular type button thread, whatever you got, black thread, and I'll wrap that around the carbon end and then onto the threaded part. But make sure you leave what they tell you to leave there, okay, on each side, guys, for adjustments. Okay, and basically then, after I wrap a good amount of the thread on there, then I go over it with a brush-on Loctite super glue. Okay, and then you're good to go. Also remember, just a little tip, guys, these have a little ring on one side, which is showing you, okay, and then the Sab emblem on the other. This is the side that pushes on, okay, because there's a little ring there, so it actually allows you to, it's kind of recessed in, it makes it push on easier. So make sure when you slide this in to put it on, okay, that you have one going one way to go on into the back of the tail casing and the one going the other way. Save yourself a little bit of a headache there. So make sure you got those right before you put this in. And that's just a little tip, guys. And once again, okay, the first part, leave 13 millimeters out. Get yourself one of these guys, okay? Digital caliper. Save yourself a lot of aggravation. You really need one of these when you're building a kit. So there it is in the book. Tells you, leave that much hanging out. Okay, epoxy it, put the tape, leave it overnight, come back the next day, put your ball link on, leave your 5 millimeter, and then you can put your thread and the super glue. And you'll have a rock solid, tight rudder rod that'll be stronger and guaranteed not to pull apart, guys. So there you go, just a little tip. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Kyosho.